And good morning and welcome to VSA Capital 5 Minute Morning Miner on a glorious Tuesday, the 8th of July. The sun is shining, the sun has got his hat on. Morning, Paul, how are you?
And very well. I'm feeling the same way.
Yeah. Right, there's not a lot of news out today, although I do notice that the BBC is running an article about Chinese rare earths and the terrible way it is, or the damage it's doing to the local environment, poisoned water and diseases and birth defects, etc. At Bayan Obo. Maybe Greta Thunberg or whatever her name is, that young lady who likes to protest about just about everything. Maybe she'd like to go to China and protest about this. I don't think she'd last very long, but it's interesting. It's interesting really because we talk a lot about rare earths, or at least in the West, that China obviously dominate this. Actually, what they really dominate, of course, Paul, isn't it, is the processing of rare earths, not the actual mining of it. There's rare earths everywhere. They're not that rare. But it's the processing capability that they actually dominate. That's correct, isn't it, Paul?
Yes, it is. And because these Chinese rare earths, these are clay hosted rare earths that they're mining there. So they run through an awful lot of leachate. And in order to gain the control over the marketplace over the last several decades, they've been willing to sacrifice the environment in order to make sure they got that done on a national basis. But they've done the same in other commodities as too. Graphite is a clear one as well. So it's these critical minerals now, and particularly for climate work, that has been an issue in China, and has to be a practice which is displaced by much better Western standards, I think.
And it does make the standards in the West, in particular, somewhere like the UK or America and other places, are just so high. It's unbelievable. But anyway, and the rare earths, for what it's worth, that China is really busy making here at this place is neodymium and dysprosium. Those are the two you need to watch out for. Anyway, let's turn to what little news there is today, Paul. There's a few things. I mean, probably the biggest bit of news, more because of the amount they've raised, is a NASDAQ listing of a South American gold miner, Aura Minerals, isn't it?
Well, it's not a past tense thing. It's just opened, actually, but it is the big investment banks which are involved in this NASDAQ listing of what is TSX listed, otherwise Aura Minerals, the Brazil gold producer in South America. $210 million raise they're going for, and the price on the offer is what the closing price was in US dollar equivalent terms back on July the 4th. It is an offer only to U.S. Clients and investors. So sorry, but the rest of us in the world could not participate in this.
You're American, Paul. You could play. You've probably got an American account somewhere. Anyway, all right, quickly run through whatever else you want to just quickly talk about, because there's nothing to. Actually, you could talk a bit about Empire Metals. Empire has been an amazing. It's probably been one of the best performing stocks on AIM. They're based in Western Australia and have found this amazing titanium discovery. But you can talk about that if you want, Paul.
Yeah, this one, Empire Metals, AIM quoted here, and it's about that Pitfield sandstone hosted titanium discovery they made a little while ago in West Australia. They have completed the current drilling program, 180 drill holes for over 10,000 meters drilled, and 40 reverse circulation holes within that as well. Purpose is in order to put a mineral resource estimate specifically on the Thomas prospect itself, which had been found to be very thick, and from earlier testing to be high grade as well. Just have to caution investors on the Empire and the Pitfield story. It's not going to be about the grade or the tons, because they're both going to be very, very good size. It's going to be about the difficulty or not of milling this or potential ore, and the recovery rates that they get from it. So the real deciding factor economically still to be determined at Pitfield.
All comes back to processing, doesn't it? So often in mining, it comes back to processing. Anyway, anything else, Paul?
Yes, I did want to mention too this new mineral resource estimate that has been put out by Venerable Ventures. That's the latest TSX listed corporate name to hold the Minto copper gold deposit in the Yukon Territory. It's a relatively small deposit by standards that most major companies are looking for, but it's not an immaterial one because of its grade. It's 12.6 million tons at 1.2% copper in the indicated category, along with 0.46 grams gold, and then another inferred 24 million tons at just over 1% copper and zero point 0.4 grams gold as well. And these are open pit modeled shells. So there will be an upcoming further drill program to infill the drilling, but also to add to the high grade domain, which they've newly found called the Western Domain, associated with the Minto North deposit. So, yet again, somebody's going to try to develop this one for sure because it just can't be resisted, really, given this uh, grade of copper at surface. It's but it's proved to be a difficult one in the past for very small companies in order to get consistent working capital to push it through its development.
And on that note, I think we'll call it a day and back tomorrow. Thanks, Paul.
Very good, thanks.
This podcast has been produced and edited by VSA Capital. It is intended for information purposes and not as investment advice. The information is intended for recipients who understand the risks associated with equity investments in smaller companies. Please do your own research and do not rely on a single source when making an investment decision. VSA Capital may derive fees from this content and seeks to do business with the companies mentioned.